So I like texted him and I was like, do you want to just have an open marriage so that I can just find somebody else to give me all of the attention that I want that you don't want to give me? And he said, nigga, you want to get an open marriage just because you feel like I'm not giving you attention? Like, this is where he goes, what the fuck? Like, where did that come from? All right. Well, welcome back to Roots to Realities. I realized because I was listening to one of our episodes and I said Roots to Reality, and it's Roots to Realities because there are multiple realities and all that jam. But today, you know, with Valentine's Day weekend coming up, I thought it would be great if we talked about love and relationship and marriage and all in between, how we got here, how we feel our culture has impacted how we see love and what we think relationships should look like. I'm going to try my best to speak and represent for the ladies, but you know, don't judge me if I come out sounding a little niggerish. That's Kevin's
a little
fault.
What? Oh my God. Can we try that again?
No, Kevin, how are you?
First of all, why are you so loud?
I don't know,
That's
but
the
I
first
also
thing.
don't really enjoy calling you Kevin. Like, it's just weird.
First of all, you didn't even, you give somebody a little runway. I was like, hey, Shou, you go ahead, lead off the show, do what you got to do. And you
That's your
don't
fault.
introduce the show. You talk about the mess ups that you made. He was like, it's Roots to Realities. Then you go, all right,
I said,
let's try it. Let's try this. Bro got you. What's going on, guys? This Roots to Realities. This is Kevin B, the brand, alongside
yeah, girl, Shou, the vibe enhancer.
girl. I'm watching you clip right now. Turn your volume down a little bit. It's going pure all the way to red. All the way to red. You're gonna have a hard time editing this one. Okay? Now.
You know, I have a new mic.
Yeah. All right. Now you're
How
doing
am
a
I
whole
now?
lot better.
Okay.
I hear you clear as day. You don't even gotta be yelling. I promise you that. The microphones work very well. Yeah, like you said, we're gonna talk about marriage, love, relationships, all of the above. You know, how we're sustaining it, how our past dictates how we love now, how we, I was literally just talking about this on my last show also, and on Dear Legacy, where it's like, now I'm trying to make sure that I'm loving out loud, right? But loving out loud means what? Because we're still dealing with what we dealt with. Because in previous episode, like I told you, I didn't hear I love you from my mother until I was in Afghanistan. So that alone is like, it's not something that we were used to. It's not something that we heard all the time. And now we're trying to break some of these, I'm not going to say generational curses, but just different norms, right? We want to try something different, be different, do better, right? So let's jump right into it. What you got for us, Shou?
Well, I want to talk about how our, since we'll stay on brand, the roots that we carry into our marriage. So let's start from the beginning. Am I still loud?
No.
Okay. Let's start from the beginning. And so I know that you spoke before about your father passing at a very young age. But so instead of saying God damn, I did not need you to tell the people it's time for me to go to bed. It's so rude.
Well, nobody heard it until you announced it. I was like, what is she mad at right now? Like,
well, you heard it last time. See, this is weird. Oh,
that was last time. This time we ain't hear nothing.
What did relationships look like for you growing up? Like, what did it look like at home?
In terms of like
what did you like? I would say, what was your first introduction to seeing a married couple, and how did you see that behavior?
Oh shit. Yeah, I didn't have those examples because there's no married couple in my house. My father died when I was 4. All my aunts, for whatever reason, the men were not around also. whether it be from divorce or choosing to do other things, or some stayed back in Haiti, whatever the case may be. But there was no true definition or model of what marriage looked like, what love looked like, right? So for me, the earliest I can remember of seeing what marriage and love looked like, it was on TV, like most of us do, right? You're learning and seeing certain things off TV, because even in the environments that we grew up in, even in our friend circles, there's still not, you don't even see this when you go to your friend's house. You're still seeing the same norms that you have going on. So for me, it would have to be TV, and then you learn along the way the people that you look up to, how they're moving, right? They go from bachelor life to now in relationships and claiming their person and all that, and then you grow with those people along the way. So yeah, what about yourself? Well, you had both your parents.
I did have both my parents. Oddly enough, and it's funny because I ran into Joanna this past weekend, and we were talking about how our generation doesn't necessarily speak about how we saw our parents love, and I'll put quotation because it's love, but not what we think love should look like. How we don't talk about, some people had parents sleeping in different rooms. Some people never, like for me, I remember in our first episode, I'm laid back. I don't know why I'm all like I'm
slouched all the way down in my chair too. I got comfortable. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm looking at myself on the camera. I'm like, yo, this is bad posture right now. And I honestly did not give a fuck. I'm like, we comfortable. We talking about it. Let's do. I'm looking at your background also. I'm like, damn, yo, her shit look fire.
Don't it? I'm so excited. And
you got the whole color scheme going on too.
Listen, I will say you should thank yourself.
You think you nice? You think
no,
nice.
No. I was gonna say you should thank yourself for that, because if you did not come at me the way you did and tell me to do something about my prison walls.
I didn't say prison walls. I said,
prison walls.
I was watching the episodes, and I'm like, I did my whole little aesthetic stuff, and you can see certain things, just telling a story and all that hoopla doopla. And I look over to you, it's like sterile.
No,
like,
you said
you're not
prison
sterile.
walls.
You're not blank. Yes, okay. I said it looked like it's somewhere in a dungeon, prison walls. Like let's jazz it up. Let's get something on there. And then you went and being the extra person that you are. There you go. I mean, it looks good though.
I'm so excited about it. But yeah, so with my parents, I remember, I think it was the first episode where I spoke about how the way I saw my mom set up my dad's plate, like he would come home, she would set everything out separately, he would eat, and then he would get up, go watch TV. I've never heard my parents say I love you to each other. Not even to me. Like I didn't get an I love you till I was like,
well then shit. They chose to love each other. They didn't want to say it to you. Why they gotta say like, come on, you know how they operate. They told you they love you when they buy you stuff.
You're fed.
When they fed you, so that don't mean that I don't love you. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't do it. I'm like, I don't think it works like that. I think I will still have to provide.
Funny story, which I can say now because God rest their souls, nobody's gonna come at me for it. There was one time, so we all lived in my aunt's house, and we kind of had the basement, like my mom and dad. Like it was 2 rooms in a basement. So I shared a room with my brother, and then my mom and dad were in the other room, and they were like, back to back or whatever. And so I'll never forget.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say something else. I ain't even going to hold you. I'm like, yo, where is this story going? Like, but go ahead. Sorry.
I will never.
My mind goes in different places.
I will never forget. I must have been like maybe 11. Yeah, because I think my dad left when I was like 13, 14. So I was like 11, maybe 10, 11. And I remember my mom bought lingerie once. I don't know why I remember this. Maybe
what do you mean you don't know why?
Because I'm scarred. Maybe because I'm scarred.
Mommy's trying to keep it spicy in her household, boy.
And
she's doing her duties. She's doing her wifely duties.
Listen, and I remember it was a red like teddy that she bought. And I remember when she took a shower, she's getting into bed and I legit heard my father. My father go,
Golly.
And then told her to take it off.
Just ruined the
put
whole
on
moment.
Something else. I was just like, oh.
He told her to take it off.
Yeah, he told her to take it off and put her like PJs on, and I like
Pops
I
was
felt
not having it, huh?
yo, I don't like when I sit back and think about it, like it's kind of sad, but it was like when it happened, like, well, not clearly when it happened. I knew I didn't understand because at 11 years old, I didn't necessarily know what sex was, and I didn't really understand lingerie, but it was just the fact that he was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and maybe I will say this, and I do know that they talk about how women are attracted to people who remind them of their father. I will vouch for that. Renard, 1,000% reminds me of my father because first and foremost, a clear and obvious sign. They're both Libras. Shut up. I know. Libra gang. You just
gang. We balance out the world, baby.
Oh, Lord Jesus. But like Renard, well, like my dad, Renard's very like, Doc, what are you doing? Like the kids are right there. Like the kids can hear. So I like being older, I now realize like he wasn't trying to be like some ill, what are you doing? It was probably more so like there's no door in between our room and the kids' room. Like, what do you think is about to happen here that our kids
You're
are
talking
gonna
about your
hear?
parents.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not talking about me and Renard. No, listen, fuck them kids. They're young. They don't know what the sounds are. I'm talking about my parents. Like,
either figure it out, young kings.
Listen, I will tell another funny story. Has Caden ever walked in on you before? Because I got that. We have hit that. We hit that moment.
So I don't know what he necessarily seen, right? Because if he's around, listen, ain't nothing. The schedule ain't nothing changing because you're around, mother sucker. But like the dude moves like a ninja sometimes, right? And we're still trying to get this young man to understand, like, you got to knock and wait. But because his room is all the way down the hall, we tend to leave our door open. Like, we know we put you to bed. We know you're asleep, whatever the case may be. But like, it's the morning times when you try to get that morning nookie in. And
yes.
Then, like, you're like, oh shit, he's still asleep. You know, hey, what's up, girl? Hey, what's up, guy? And you about to get it popping, and all of a sudden he like standing there, like, what the fuck did you come from? But we're conscious. We always know, like, hey, look at it at the time. This usually around the time he might be waking up. We're gonna stretch it a little bit, but let's just like hide under this real quick. And you know, there's been at least once or twice where, what'd you think he seen? I don't know. Shit. Yeah, man, I'm down here. He ain't seen nothing on me.
Yo, the day with Ramses, and Ramses probably was, he wasn't 4, he was probably 3. And once again, same thing. Like we're learning to knock. We're still trying to. We're still learning to knock. And I know we're gonna have to do it all over again.
In. He busting on bathrooms. Like, bro, like what are we doing right now?
But we was knee deep, and all of a sudden our door just busted open. When I tell you, Renard left me stranded. Grabbed all the fucking comforters and covered himself. And I'm like, I got more parts to cover than you.
Yo.
And you left me stranded.
That is hilarious.
Oh, my Lord, man, good moments. But that does also tie back to the part where even with me growing up in a house with both parents, sex was never a thing. I don't think my parents ever had sex like since we were
that you
born.
know of.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that. But like, because we
just think about how many times you're having sex with the kids and they're oblivious.
Yeah, but also remember, my dad was living in a house with all of his sister-in-laws and all of that. So there's never a quiet moment or a moment to yourself because there were no locks on the doors. Like I said, we were in the basement, but there was no lock on the basement door. Like anybody could just go downstairs at any given time. So privacy
I'm putting on
didn't
the show.
exist.
I don't care. Y'all want to come down here without announcing yourselves? Here it is.
But in that respect, and I do have it for us to touch on, the cultural expectation of what successful marriage versus divorce
Mm,
looks like.
hmm.
And you laughed at me when I said, I was like, "Oh, we're going to talk about marriage and divorce." And we can give the dynamic of both. But I will say, I feel like from what I've seen in my family, divorce is kind of like a taboo type of situation in the previous generation. Like, I feel like generation before us just didn't believe in, I guess, putting yourself first, I would say, or bound. I don't necessarily know what the word is, but they didn't see you allowing to say, "Hey, this is a toxic relationship. I need to go." They didn't value that. And I can use the example of my cousin when she was in the middle of a divorce. Her mother was like, "Why you can't just write it out? Like, he makes good money. He supports you. Like, he can financially support you. He's doing this, he's doing that." And she's like, "This motherfucker cheated on me, had a baby on me, and you want me to turn the other cheek because he can financially support me?" And she's like, "Yeah, like, I don't know, mistakes happen. Like, why you can't live with that?" So, I want to hear your thoughts on, because you have experienced divorce.
Don't put my
How
business out there.
First of all, you're the one that said you love to do things in threes. Okay, I didn't. I'm not the one who said it. But how
Listen.
did your family, and I'm talking about like your older gen, because I know you said you're close with your aunts. How did they take that, if they took it at all?
I think, honestly, with my mom and my aunts and family members, I don't. There's a lot of things because I've always done my own thing and I never really gave a fuck what anybody think or said. I don't think they ever even really said anything or digested it. It was just one of those things. Well, if you're not happy, then you got to do what you have to do. If, they'll say their comments like, "Are you sure?" type stuff. Well, what happened? What led to this? They'll ask questions, but there was never one of those things where it's like, listen, they're not saying they're jumping for joy and like, go get the divorce. Yeah, do what you got to do. But at the same time, they're letting me live my life, right? I think they all, again, going back to what we talked about before, is I was, I'm not gonna say I was a good kid, but I was the more disciplined kid. So that I got away with a lot because I always knew how to figure it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't question a lot of my own decisions. Like, they question the military. They was like, "Man, you crazy," you know what I mean? But at the same time, they allowed me to go live my life, right? Got married, got divorced, and whatever the case may be. I feel as though in that aspect, I've always been supported in whatever decisions that I made, right? Because I think they've come to the realization also is like, what was good for the goose might not be good for the gander, right? So it's like, just because we would want it to be this way doesn't mean they have to live this way, if that makes any sense. So I think that's where they're a little bit more modernized. Maybe that's them tapping into the American side because, they all think that they're American.
Do you feel like you have pressure in this marriage?
In which marriage? Me and Tiffany?
Yes.
I don't think so. I honestly, let me not say I don't think so. I don't feel pressure in this one because I know what I was looking for, right? And I found you want to answer the question in a way where you're not being disrespectful
Yes.
to anybody else, right? Because that experience was that experience, and we're good where we are now, right? You know what I mean? And I think she's gotten better. I've gotten better. You've learned from where your faults were, right? And let's be honest. I was just talking about it on my last show. I have 3 therapists. That's a drastic difference in itself. And when you go through certain things in life, you realize what you want out of life, right? Yes, I want the family aspect, but at the same time, I got to think about what that third dot behind legacy is, right? What is Caden seeing? because whatever he's seeing, that's going to be his reality, whether he chooses to change it or not. But that's his foundation. So, and at the time, we're young, right? We're young. We could hit the reset button and start again, right? You know, for a guy, it's always easier. I'm not gonna disregard, like, her journey is gonna be a lot different than my journey. Now it's separated and is divorced, right?
Yeah.
She has 2 kids that she has to put herself back into the market for. I have 1 child, but let's be completely honest. We, as men, we move more freely than the women are able to move, right? So, like, I don't feel, to answer your question, I don't feel pressures in this one because I learned, I grew, and I know things that I did wrong in my last one that I'm not bringing into this one, right? Communicating is a whole lot different, you know, learning when to pick your battles, taking my ego out of the situation, right? So there's a lot of differences that removes the pressure off of this. And then when you're with your person, there really is no pressure because we understand certain things, right?
Yeah.
She knows when to push, when not to push. I know when to push, when not to push. You know what I mean? We know what's going to irritate the other, so we try our best not to. But we're human, right? We're still going to annoy each other.
It happens.
I mean, what about you? Coming from a household where you had seen what marriage looked like and how they operated, what necessarily carried over, and do you feel as though there's pressures? Because we talked about it in previous episodes also, because you feel as though, like, one of your fears is fear of failure in your marriage, so you make sure that you're showing up extra. But isn't that some type of pressures in itself on top of being a mom of 2?
Oh, there is 1,000% pressure in my relationship, and on top of the fact that I'm an overachiever and I'm a perfectionist, so that doesn't help either. But I will say, off the top of my head, my marriage is the only successful marriage, not even just in my immediate family, so far, because we do have newlyweds, but people who have been married, let's say 5+ years. Oh my God, yeah, we just hit 5 years. What year is this? This is 26. Yeah, we just hit 5 years a couple weeks ago. But
too many soca crews for you to remember.
Listen, oh Jesus, well, also because
do you count your anniversaries off of soca cruises?
No, I only been on 2 soca cruises.
Just checking.
No, well, also I think the thing that sticks out is because Renard and I have actually been together. We'll be 16 years in March, but married. I know, right? But married 5 years. So, but within the married realm, none of the marriages in my family have lasted. Like, none of them. And I think there's a pressure because I'm like, oh my God, is it just a curse? Like, do people in my family can we just not hold on to love? Like, do we just annoy? So there is that pressure of kind of like, I can't fuck up. I can't fuck up. Like, I'm not even thinking about him fucking up. It's like, girl, don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. But I will give you an exclusive. So we talked about how a good chunk of my parents' marriage not lasting was just the over interference of family. And we do know that just goes in the lack of boundaries of our culture. We were taught you marry into the family. Well, you marry this person, but you're also marrying their family. I feel like our generation does a good job with saying, no.
Yeah.
I didn't marry her. Yeah, I married you. So unfortunately, the generation before us didn't have that boundary. They didn't know that was okay to feel that way. So I do feel like a good chunk of the reason that my parents' marriage had a downfall was because of just the over, whatever the word is, intruding or whatever. So in talking to Renard, I was like, okay, because now one of my aunts lives with us, and it's a battle. We love her. We understand that it is a struggle with just the way she thinks life is supposed to be.
We love her, but...
Well, you see, I do it with the kids too, because, so people are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. But it's hard living with somebody from the older generation. And at this point, she's 87. So she ain't even just the generation before us. She's the generation before us. And living with her and kind of just seeing how she is with the boys. And then on top of that, my other aunt, Renard and I were talking the other day, and I forgot what brought up the conversation, but we were saying, like, bro, our marriage, I don't know how our marriage would have looked like if we had both of them in the house. And he was like, yeah, I can see, like, he'll say often, I can see why your dad left. Like, it's a lot for an outsider. And I'm like, oh, but what he said to me surprisingly, and I was like, oh, well, I don't think our marriage would have been impacted if they both lived with us. This motherfucker had the audacity to let me know. He goes, yeah, I don't know if our marriage would have lasted if both of them stayed in the house with us. You mean?
I mean, but that's being truthful though,
it's
right?
being, and I had to respect it, but on the same page, like, damn. Like, I appreciate the honesty.
16 years in. First of all, shout outs to 16 years ago, you're about to be a big ass 40 next year. So 39, that's 3,
Doing that
that's
math thing
20,
again.
that's 23 years old. You guys linked up in your early to mid 20s. In the era that we grew up in, living in the party scene, how do we make it to get to even the marriage part?
I tell you, Renard shut down my whole phase like there was no tomorrow. I was living. Listen, I had an apartment. I was just gallivanting, and it was just amazing. And Renard came into my life and was like, yeah, fuck this shit. I don't go to the clubs. And yeah. It was hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I lost you.
Yep. Just remember the timestamp. Tell you, I'm tearing the whole thing down. This is what it was doing to me earlier.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Jesus. Oh, you're coming back, I think.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Just go with it. Just go with it. Just keep flowing. Just keep flowing.
Uh-oh. I
cannot. This has been the story of my life.
This is gonna, like,
at least we have good audio.
We do. It's amazing audio. So I will say it was hard. It was very hard coming into a relationship in your early 20s. And because we were outside. Like, we were the definition of what outside meant. And for me to just decide, and I am, okay, have you ever seen Eat, Pray, Love? Did I say that correctly? Eat, Love, Pray.
So I kind of skimmed through the book, but I never really watched the movie, to be completely honest.
So
heard is good though.
I permeable. I gotta find the thing that she's permeable. I just saw it. Permeable. There is a part in the movie where she gives a monologue, and when I heard her say that monologue, and mind you, this movie came out in what, the early to, like, what, 2011 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna read it to you because it hits. Okay. It says, I have issues with boundaries. One must have boundaries in the first place, right? But I disappear into the person I love. I am the permeable membrane. If I love you, you can have everything. You can have my time, my devotion, my ass, my money, my family, my dog, my dog's money, my dog's time, everything. If I love you, I will carry for you all your pain. I will assume for you all your debt in every definition of the word. I will protect you from your own insecurity. I will project upon you all sorts of good qualities that you never actually cultivated in yourself. I will buy Christmas presents for your entire family. I will give you the sun and the rain. And if they're not available, I will give you a sun check and a rain check. I will give you all of this and more until I get so exhausted and depleted that the only way I can recover my own energy is by becoming infatuated with someone else. Yo, when I heard that line, I said, oh shit, I am seen. Because that's what I thought love was. Coming into my relationship with Renard, and I know that it has to do with the fear and, like we said, the pressure of having a successful marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be his everything. I wanted you to not even think twice about, oh my God, can she cook? Oh my God, can she do this? Does she have the wife quality? I gave this motherfucker all the wife qualities and tendencies by like week 2.
Not
I will
week
never
2,
forget.
you psychopath.
Yo, this man talked about he liked, I think it was Final Fantasy 7. I don't know shit about video games, but I tell you this, my ass went down to GameStop, found the game because it just came out that week, and I bought it for him. Like I was that person because I wanted him to believe that I am the best thing to come into his life.
You ain't got to keep laughing. Just go with it. All right? Just go with it. You're the best thing that happened in his life. Keep going.
Because I am the best thing that happened to his life. I never wanted him to even second guess. And even you were at my marriage, you were at my wedding. We made a joke. I think I made the joke where if it was up to me, Renard and I probably would have got married 6 months into the relationship, like hands down. Like I would have been like, why are you not trying to marry me? This nigga made me wait 11 years.
What made you think that you was ready after 6 months?
Because I loved him. He was my everything. Nothing. I was stupid. And you know what's funny? It was really stupid. Because when I sit back now, I tell myself, if we got married when I wanted to get married, Renard and I would not be together right now.
You probably wouldn't.
No, not probably. We would not be together right now.
Well, I'm just trying to be nice.
No, okay. We can be realistic. This ain't about being nice. we real. We would not be together right now because the expectations that I had, not being able to, yes, I grew up in that for a good amount of time. No, I mean, for the first, let's say 12 years of my life, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I didn't see what love looked like. So similar to you, my image of love came from what I saw on TV. My image of love.
That's why I was asking, because it's like, you know, when we watch these rom-coms and these movies, it's like it all happens like this, and then we're seeing it in a vacuum to last 90 minutes to 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna make it fairy tale roses, and even when something does go wrong, it's something that you're like, oh my God, they fixed it. So that's what it looks like. But in reality, it's more than that, right?
Yeah.
And you have to think about, in our late 20s, early 30s, we're still trying to figure out how we're loving ourselves, how we're showing up for ourselves. Now you're thrusting yourself in a situation where you, oh my God, I love him. Like, girl, I get it. You're infatuated right now. You have deep affections right now. You love the sex right now. Yeah, I mean, it's like we're not really sitting, because to be completely honest, in all my relationships, I'm learning and growing, right? And along the way, yes, people are getting hurt, but I have my hurts also, right? I have my lessons that I have to learn in every one of these relationships, you know? Yeah. Like, as dudes, we do hurt also. We might do some fucked up shit along
y'all
the
hurt
way.
Hard, though.
But when y'all we hurt, like, we get stupid with it, right? That's when our whole phases kick in once we get hurt. But I look at it like this, because you asked the question earlier, do I feel the pressure? I think another reason why I don't feel the pressure is because by the time Tiffany came into my life, I know what I'm looking for now. I know who I am, and I know my flaws and my blind spots also, right? And I'm not going into a situation where it's like you're wishing and hoping upon a star that it's going to rectify and fix itself. When you're going into a situation like that where you're like, I hope it'll get better, you're already at a disadvantage. Right. And when it came to me and Tiffany, I know what I wanted. I know what I was looking for. She knew what she wanted. She knew what she was looking for. We both know what we're not going to stand for, what we're going to tolerate, and what we're not going to tolerate.
Yeah.
It's not that both of us are stuck in our ways or dug in. It's just we know what it is that the foundations that we've been building, there's studs now, there's walls, there's a roof and all that other stuff. So now I know when I open this door up, it's two grown ass people that's going to try to make a decision. We're making a decision to choose each other.
Yes.
And
you sound like my therapist.
Listen, I told you I got 3 therapists. and a lot of the times I feel as though like, wait a second, what session is this for? Is this my depression one and PTSD or is this my life session? Because at the end of the day, it all blends. It all blends. Like the shit that you dealt with in the military, the shit that you dealt with as a child, it's all giving you bits and pieces on how you're going to develop, how you're going to show up. And then now, like I talk about in Dear Legacy, now not only am I still fixing me and figuring out me at this big ass age of 41, but now there's an 8-year-old looking back at me, looking for his foundation to start getting set. And then not only am I setting his foundation on what he sees when he's at here, but he has to see that I have a good relationship with his mother also, right? We have to explain to him, like, he's asked us before, like, marriage, how come we're not together? How did this? And tea in his life and all that. So, I told you before, I talked to Caden like he's a young adult.
Yeah.
You try to curve it as much as you can, but the reality is the reality, right?
Yeah.
But what he's not going to see is me and his mom beefing. What he's not going to see is me and Tiffany arguing and all that stuff. Yeah. Like, we make it a precedent that he does not see that. Are we sheltering him in a little bit? Maybe. But at the same time, I don't look at it as sheltering. I look at it as we're trying to make sure that he has the right foundation for when he goes out there, he's not messing with these little girls. You know what I mean? Now, it's bad enough these little boys are going to run through girls left and right, and so girls could be doing the same as well, right? How he sees what we do, he doesn't have to go to TV to figure out what it looks like. You know what I mean? You've been told since birth how much you're loved by 3 different individuals. You know what I mean? We're not even talking about the aunties and the uncles and all that stuff. I think our generation, because we're trying to break those norms, we're telling the nieces and nephews how special they are, how much they're loved and all that other stuff. Because we know how we set this up is going to dictate how they are in these relationships when they move on and start doing all that good jazz. But
first of all, when you brought up legacy,
wanting to be married at six months into it, I'm like, man,
let me tell you something.
My mail was blowing out your back. That's what you get at 6 months. You see what I'm saying?
Honeymoon phase.
That's some deep infatuation. But when it got rocky, when it's no longer the honeymoon, because like I said, when it got rocky and shaky and all that other stuff, eventually we went down the divorce route, right? Mm-hmm. You guys didn't go down the divorce route. How did we get across that bridge?
Honestly, I will say it's Renard. Because...
I could have told you that, but I didn't want to say it out loud.
Shut up. What I learned about myself through therapy, shout out to Wellness for Our Future, I am so easy to just be like, fuck this shit. I don't want to do this no more. Like, this how you want to talk to me? Like,
who raised you?
Yo, I legit, my brain sometimes, like when something doesn't go the way I want it to go, or if we have a little argument, I legit will be like, well, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore. Like, we can just part ways and figure this out. Like, I don't want, and he'd be like, over a fucking argument, you want to just call it a quits? And I'd be like, no, I'm not. And it's funny because then, of course, you'll see things on social media and like Capricorns be like, so we're going to break up because I'm not doing this. And I'm like, oh, I do be like that. Like, case in point, ladies, you will relate to this one. I like attention. Okay. I know it's very shocking for you to think that. I want to be showered. And I will say social media doesn't help because you'll get on social media and you see these dudes out here hyping their girls up like, oh yeah, da 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 da. But these are the same motherfuckers out here cheating on their bitches, but whatever. But but I be like, my man don't do like things like that. But I also have to realize I married him like that. Renard was never the over the top, oh my girl, oh yes, girl with them boots and da. He was never that type of dude. But I don't know what level of attention I was craving. And Renard doesn't do PDA, he doesn't do all of that. But he shows affection in his way. And I have to learn to accept that. Like I know, for instance, we talked about it the other day. There are times where Renard's compliment will literally be, oh, that's a new dress. And that's his compliment. I know to translate that as he likes the dress because he's noticing that it's a new dress. Is he going to be like, yo, that dress looks real nice on you? No, he's going to be like, oh, that's a new dress. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's noticing. All right. He's telling me so. Like, but I think I always translated it as, oh, is he trying not to gas me up? Like, is he? But I randomly texted him one night. Mind you, we were saying, because I have a CPAP now. God, I hate that thing. Go to sleep with a CPAP, which he loves because I can't talk. The minute that CPAP comes in, he goes, word. No talking for the rest of the night. But I'll text him. So I text him and I was like, do you want to just have an open marriage so that I can just find somebody else to give me all of the attention that I want, that you don't want to give me? And he said, nigga, you want to get an open marriage just because you feel like I'm not giving you attention? Like, this is where he goes, what the fuck? Like, where did that come from? But I go to those levels of extreme, and y'all just got to pray for him. Like,
that is the most extreme shit I've heard.
But I say
because
like
of
that.
Attention, you want to have an open marriage.
Yeah.
You know you can get attention for free and not open up your marriage.
Yeah, but then kind of less like low-key cheating because he doesn't know about it. At least if he knows and we have an open marriage, then he knows that I'm getting attention from other people. But
your logic makes no sense.
Not at all. But it was also like 11 o'clock at night.
Because you could walk outside and somebody's going to give you attention. Hey, Ma, you look real good. Oh, I know. Thank you. Yeah, or, whatever. Oh, my God. I don't even want to go down this. I'm not doing this with you. You just stress me the fuck out.
But I will say I do stupid things like that. But like I said, when you asked how do we manage through the rockiness, it's Renard's level head. And
clearly, you trying to get open marriages because the man doesn't say you look pretty in a dress. He acknowledges a dress, but because he didn't say you look pretty in a dress, I need an open marriage. What?
Listen.
What if he turned around and said yes?
After I said it, my brain said, bitch, that was dumb. Because what if he was
because you put it in the atmosphere. Sure, let's do it.
What if he was like, you know what? I've been waiting for you to say this.
What if he turned around and be like, yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, like I didn't.
Now your little feelings are gonna be all crushed. You're ripping the CPAP machine off, and you're just like cussing a damn storm because he's giving you what you asked for.
Because I started the fight, and now I'm like, wait a minute, nigga, you wasn't supposed to say yes. No, I know. But I do things like that, which is why I'm like, he's the reason that our relation have the level head. Because what I've learned, and something that we're also learning, because we are in therapy, and
you do couples therapy.
We do couples therapy, and I highly recommend it. Because
me and Tiffany does check-ins.
We need to.
Yeah, so we meet. I think it's supposed to be once a month, but definitely at least once a quarter. Like, shit don't gotta be wrong. Let's just go in. We might be holding on. We might be holding on some shit that we didn't want to let out, and we just need that third party right now. Yeah. So I applaud that for sure. For those that are out there that are listening, you don't need to go to therapy when shit's wrong.
No,
go to therapy when shit's right. That alleviates a lot of the shit going wrong because you learning how to communicate better. You're learning how to so that's what that meant. Okay, cool. Let me store that so I'm not getting pissy mad later on because I understand what you actually really meant for that. Yeah. Because let's be completely honest. Men and women think different.
Oh my God. Yes.
We think different. We operate different.
Yes.
It's always going to be that way. How you view that same sentence. We could read the same exact sentence. You read it one way, I read it another way.
And then I'm looking at you like, how the fuck did you get there?
And it could potentially start into an argument. Exactly. How did you get there? Well, motherfucker, how did you not see it like that? I saw. Did you read the words? Now we're in a whole ass argument over a fucking 5-word sentence that it doesn't even fucking matter.
No.
But
We're
if
not
you
gonna remember
realize
tomorrow.
when you go into that therapy session, and you be like, oh, this is how Tiffany's views certain things. So that's why she read it in that essence. I'm not going to argue with you. Cool. You can have that one. Yeah, that one. Because I'm not dying on this hill. Because if the thing people don't realize is, and I was just talking about it on Dear Legacy, what you don't realize is if you're going to argue everything, the shit that's actually important, it's gonna seem so minuscule to the other person because they're so used to hearing you fucking argue about something.
Yeah.
Pick and choose your fucking battles, man. Like, man, this certain shit I be looking at, I'm like, nah, not worth my time. No. And then when it is worth my time, I'm like, nope, I'm not letting you have this one. Because once I say that, and it's so crazy because now Tiffany knows when I say no, I'm not letting you have this one. She already automatically knows, wait, let me listen to what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because he usually, if he says that means
he's really
this is something
serious.
That's actually important to him.
Yeah.
Let me see what he's trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, so since we're talking about therapy, let's talk about the realities that we face in marriage. Mm-hmm. I will say that marriage really is like someone holding up a mirror to you. Mm-hmm. And through therapy, I realized that, like you said, men and women, we already knew men and women think differently. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, blah, blah, blah. But Bernard put it perfectly the other day where he said, I'm the emotions of the relationship and he's the logic. Fucking Libras. He's the logic of it.
We balance out the world. Stop saying it. We get it.
Because he's very black and white. He's very, everything has to have a reasoning behind it. Like it's not just happening. Whereas I move purely on emotion. Not great, guys. Don't do that. I move on emotion. Like if I don't like the way you said something, like if we have a conflict, I'm the person, I'm in your face. No. I want to resolve it right now. What you mean by that? What you mean by that? Where are we going with this? What did you mean with that tone? I didn't like the way you said it. Whereas Renard's like, back up out my face right now. I need a minute. Like I need to gather my, fuck your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. You don't need to gather them. How about you say your thoughts out loud while you're gathering them and we can gather them together. And he'd be like, if you don't get out of my face right now, it's going to be a really bad argument. It's going to go down a route that you were not ready to go down. And I'm just like, and then but I've learned to respect that. I've learned that he thinks differently, but he's also learning about my anxiety because I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. So with him, on top of postpartum, with him, he didn't really know what happens. And a lot of people don't know what happens in the mind of someone who has anxiety. Like they don't know the 10 million different thoughts that come into your mind just from looking at a picture or just from, I had to explain to him one time, he asked me for something and then he said, never mind. And I immediately just started to spiral and he was like, nigga, just never mind. And I'm like, why never mind? You think I can't do it? Like, do you think I'm incapable? Like, what did I say something to make you say never mind? Like, I can make it better. Like, I can do it. Like, I can crack it. Like, I can make it work. Like, what do you need done? Like, let me show you that I can do it. Like, but that's like how my brain goes. And with him, he's just like, nigga, I just don't want it no more. Like, I just stop. Yeah. Like, and I'm just like, well, why don't you want it anymore? Because did I annoy you? Did I ask you something? Like, but we're learning that. And
man, I want to look at you, man. Go talk to yourself in the corner. I ain't got time for this shit.
But marriage really does force you to hold a mirror up to your partner to say, this is how you act. Like this is who you are. And then you as a partner, you got to sit there and be like, oh, that's what I do. Oh, that's what you deal with? Kind of like how you mentioned the other day that Tiffany, in listening to our podcast, she noticed your behavior on the podcast was something that she's like, oh, damn, I do that to you.
Yeah,
And that's what it
yeah.
sounds like. So I feel like, not to say it's our job, but we are our partner's mirror. And how do you feel that, like, how do you feel the weight of being someone's mirror has affected you as an adult without seeing that as a child? Like that path. And you're an asshole. So how are you a mirror without being an asshole? Let's start there.
Well, first of all, the asshole never leaves. I feel sorry for Tiffany sometimes, because I don't, and it's not even just the asshole part. It's like time and place, motherfucker. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, even sometimes when I do something, I'm like, yo, what is wrong with me? And then I'll look over at her. I was like, you chose this, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, you had the option to say no. You had the option to call this whole thing off. You knew who you was getting in bed with. Like, this is me. I don't know what to tell you. I don't do well in certain situations. Like, when things are tense, I gotta make a joke. Like, what? But like, she's like serious. Like, no, we gotta figure this thing out. I'm sitting here still trying to crack jokes and all of this shit. Like, and then there's times where I'd be like, damn, I'm taking this too far. And then there's other times I was like, let's see how far I can take this. You know, I'm still a child. Okay, you're dealing with a grown ass fucking child. That's what you got to deal with, all right? Because not for nothing, what I don't think she realizes is, because of who she is and because of how accepting she is, and she's still loving me, I get to be me.
Yeah.
I can't be me to the real world. I got to stay being an asshole out there sometimes, because people will play with you. You know what I mean? So it's like, when I get to come home, I get to take that off.
Yeah.
The asshole that you get is a different type of asshole. You get an annoyance of an asshole, right?
Yeah.
And when I say annoyance, people, I mean annoyance. Like, there's times where, like, I feel bad. Like, she is dead ass serious. Like, stop. Like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? And I see her getting frustrated, and I still will go just that one more,
Just a little inch more. Just a little inch more.
Then I'd be having the nerve to get mad when she mad. Like, yo, every time I be sitting there, I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, it was just a joke. You didn't have to be like that. Now I'm upset. like that's how wrong the kid. I don't know what to tell you, man. But
well,
go ahead.
In saying that, we know that, in respects to social media, relationships are often glamorized, and we don't often talk about the non-glamorous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was my just I'm in multiple therapy too, because I got my own individual therapy that I go through, where it was my therapist that said to me the realization of love is not enough to carry out a relationship.
No, it isn't.
And when she said that to me, I low-key was shocked but also offended, because I never thought of that concept. People don't see that marriage is work.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I think it goes back to growing out without the ideology of relationships. We didn't see the work. What did we see on TV? Oh, it's a love rom-com and they're meant to be. We know it's a happy ending. Like you said, they squeezing in a whole storyline in 90 minutes, and they're not getting to the meat and potatoes. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. I hate that phrase, and I said it all the time. We're not getting to the root of how things are necessarily solved until you're actually in it. So I know you asked me about how I saw, like, how did we stay married for so long? But with you, how do you and Tiffany get through your hard moments?
So I think the both of us, when we came into this relationship, one, a foundation was already set because we were friends first, right? And from there, it kind of grew into something else. And you have similarities, you think the same and all that other stuff. And by thinking the same, it's like you have similar things that you like and all that other stuff, right? We travel well and all that good jazz. But at the end of the day, I feel as though we keep the main thing, and we understand that even when she has an attitude, I have an attitude, or we say something slick that the other might offend the other person, we understand that there's no malice behind it, right? And then when you're talking about one of my most infamous things that I tell people all the time is, if you go into marriage, right, and you look at it and realize that marriage is a business transaction, love is a bonus. Marriage is a business transaction, love is a bonus. I know a lot of people's gonna throw rocks at me, like, oh my God, no, blah, blah, blah. Let's be completely honest, right? It's harder to get out of a marriage than it is to get out of a business deal. You have to sign contracts. You have to sign pieces of papers. You have to get witnesses. You have to do all this other stuff. All this that I got to do just to get married and say I do, I could go online and create a whole business, start a new LLC in 20 minutes. In the next 24 hours, if I expedite it, I have a whole ass business. But it takes you days and months to get a marriage. It's a business transaction. And then when you leave it, then there's money involved. There's separations. There's assets. There's this, there's that. When the business fails, you just close it. You file Chapter 11 or you just shut it down if you don't owe any debts, right? Love part is a bonus. But when you're going into this business that is called marriage, what is the foundation? Where are we aligning at? What is our values? And I think for me and Tiffany, where early on we had those hard ass conversations because we're older, and Tiffany is about her shit. She was asking questions early on, right? Not saying that she's trying to like when you see in the movies where the people are like, what's your credit? How much you make? How much is that? There's ways you can ask those questions without asking those questions, where it's not offending the person, where it makes it seem like you're thinking about the funds and all that other stuff, right? Getting those hard conversations out of the way lets you know the person that you're about to enter something with in a relationship, not even before you get to the marriage part, because by the time you get to that marriage part, you would hope that you've had some of these conversations. And I'm one of those people, I don't believe in waiting till you're married and then moving in together.
Oh, yeah, no.
Because by then, now you're learning who this person is, their little weird quirks that's going to drive you fucking insane. That's the wrong time to try to learn it, because now you're going to start building some type of fucking annoyance with that person. And you didn't even get to the part where if you're dealing with somebody like me, that's just going to annoy you on a daily basis anyways. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think for us, getting those heavy topics out of the way, learning each other because we had a friendship prior, and then actually communicating. And by communicating, it's not right in that moment, like your psycho ass be trying to do, right? Sometimes you got to stew in it for a little bit. Like for me personally, I could be annoyed about something and still go about my day, right? And then a few days, maybe a day or so later, because some of our things, I want to say, no exaggeration, maybe a few days will last, because we don't go around the house not talking to each other. We might tell each other like, hey, I just need a minute. I'll come back to this one, or whatever the case may be. But I'll wait till like we're in a better situation and be like, yo, the other day you had said X, Y, and Z. This is how I perceived it to be. I know you probably meant no ill will towards it, but that's how I took it, right? So I think in having those good conversations early on and knowing who we are as individuals helps us when it does, because let's be completely honest, I ain't gonna tell y'all all my business, but it does get fucking rocky. The Barts do get rocky. Now, you see us out there, we look fine and dandy. That's the reality, right?
Yeah.
We are fine and dandy 90% of the fucking time.
Yeah.
But at 10% of the time, we do want to knock each other's blocks off. We do get annoyed with each other, but we choose to still stay and figure it out, because she knows who I am. I know who she is. I ain't fucking going nowhere. And I like to believe she's not fucking going nowhere neither, right? Because we chose each other. And we know our values and our foundations. And as long as we keep that communication thing going, and not to mention, I date my wife. I don't take it for granted. She a baddie. She go out there and get something new if she wants to. Me, I might struggle a little bit. It is what it is. I married up. It's cool. I'll accept that. But at the same time, it's like if I'm dating you, if I'm still acting as if like we met back in when we bumped into each other in 20, well, after COVID, bumped into each other and we went out for drinks and it's been that ever since. We still go out to drinks. I still try to pick her up at the bar, and she throws me a bone, and you know I be giving those little whack ass lines because I'm rusty. I never had to do all this shit. You know, I'm me. I'm the dude on the microphone. You know who the fuck I am? She don't know that, Kevin. So now I actually gotta like try to pick her up, man. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? That shit was lame. I'm glad you still went with me though. Either I'm actually halfway decent at this shit, or you a sucker. You was getting picked up very easily. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think it's the communication part and knowing knowing the other person's heart and realizing that we're going to struggle in this shit from time to time, and this is a business. Treat our marriage as a business that it is, the brand that it is, because the Barts is a fucking brand. We are who we are. We're not doing this shit for the gram. We don't care about the fucking gram. If it looks good it looks good on the gram, whatever the case may be, but everything that we do is for us. It's for us, it's for Kaden. That's it. That's all that fucking matters. Everybody else, enjoy it how you see it. If you don't like it, change the channel. I don't know what to tell you.
Speaking of the gram, do you guys follow each other on social media?
Well, Tiffany was never on social media until we got together. Now she has the page that we created for the wedding is technically her page. So she uses it to look up things, but she's not a social media person. So, but she does follow me. She does like and comment on a lot of my stuff. That's my number one fan, and I'm her number one fan. You know, I think, you know, we might be a little dululu. I think she could do anything under the sun, and she thinks I could do anything under the sun. So it works. She strokes the ego for the kid.
Ask me.
Oh, I know the answer to this. I didn't want to put it out there. I know you guys don't. He blocks you on social media, if I'm not mistaken. Like, but that's probably to that man's sanity, man.
I'm
like,
still blocked 16 years later.
I don't think you're blocked. I think he just doesn't like your shit.
No. I blocked. If I go look for him, it doesn't show up.
Oh my God, that is comical.
I will tell you this.
Meanwhile, me and him sending each other memes and shit on social media.
Yo, I'm so blocked to the point that we're in a group chat with other people in our gym. And when he sends a message, it says Instagram user. And that's how I know it's him. Oh my God, guys, my cheek hurts. No, but literally that has been the ongoing like inside joke of my entire relationship.
Why did he block you?
Oh, great. So when I tell people that I'm blocked, they're like, oh my God, are you for real? And I go, no, I deserved it. Like, I own the fact that I deserved being blocked because I want to say like a couple months in, I got blocked like maybe 3 months into our relationship. I've been blocked, I told you, 16 years.
And at 6 months you wanted to be married.
Listen,
Jesus Christ. You're a psychopath, but go ahead. You got like all types of red flags, but continue.
You're gonna make me pee on myself. I was blocked because I was absolutely doing way too much. You know how, and back then, like social media, like I think our age group now, we can be on social media, but it's more intentional and with purpose. Whereas 15, 16 years ago, social media was just the stomping grounds and you live on there. So, you know, you wake up in the morning, first thing you're doing is checking social media. Well, I would wake up in the morning, check my social media, and then check his social media. I knew every time he had a new friend, I knew all the comments that were under his pic. I knew everything. And I would legit be like, so who's this person? And why is it 3 smiley faces? What, your picture wasn't that funny, or what you said wasn't that dope? That, like, I literally was like, who's this person? Because it wasn't your friend yesterday. Like, where did they come from? Like, who's this? Who this hoe? Like, I literally every single morning. You know what's funny? He didn't even tell me that he was blocking me. It was just one morning I couldn't access it, and I was like, did you get rid of your social media? And he told me he got rid of it. Oh yeah, I'm not on it anymore. Then somebody else was like, yes, he is. And I was like, oh, so I'm blocked. And so I'm still blocked 16 years later.
Question before we keep going down is, why was it like that? What was the insecurities all about? Because that's
everything. I was extremely insecure, but I think it goes back to the pressure. I wanted this relationship.
3 months in, you was feeling pressure already?
Yeah, I wanted this relationship to last. I was like, he's the love of my life, and I want to be with him, and he's going to want to be with me, and I have to show him that I am the best thing since sliced bread.
And all you were showing him was red flag, red flag, red flag, run away, please.
He's still here. He is still
I think we need to bring Renard to the conversation one of these days, because like, there's either something psychologically wrong with him, or he had a bunch of red flags also, and he was like, well, fuck it, let's just throw a red party.
I do think that it will be comical, because when I used to have him come on Shou Talks, I want to say the episodes with Renard got the most views, listens, because people used to be like, dog, what do you do to this man? Like this poor man. Like when they say opposites attract, like we are polar, and like you see, we are polar opposites. But
they are, guys.
It works.
One's normal and the other one's
the other one's me. But no, in all seriousness, like I didn't appreciate when he blocked me, but I appreciate it now, because I mean, when he tells people that he blocks me, he goes, well, I mean, if I'm following her on social media, like, what are we going to talk about when we get home? Like, I know everything. That's the sugar-coated story he gives. In reality, what he wants to say is, bitch, you was crazy. Like, I wasn't trying to deal with all these arguments. Like, no, you was doing too much. But I appreciate it because it allowed us to kind of just build our own story. Because I feel like the problem with social media is people have different lives on social media.
Sure.
Like I tell you right now, when I was doing Shou Talks and I was like doing all the content for it, if Renard was following me, he'd probably be like, no, take that down. No, I don't like what you said there. No, like absolutely not. My personality is like, so people, and and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, and it's probably a bad thing. People sometimes question, like, you're married? Like, and you talk like this? And I'm like, well, because I know
you're married, and I question it.
Yeah, and I'm like, but that's because I'm so unfiltered. And people be like,
filter broke.
Like,
it's not even unfiltered. It's I don't even think it was ever even existed.
When I like
when the audience hear me say, who raised you? I'm not trying to be funny. It's legitimate. Like, you guys get a filtered version. This is a filtered version. This right here that you're listening to, it's like, thank God to the therapist. Thank God for Renard. Thank God for those 2 baby boys. Because, boy, let me tell you.
Who I was before.
It's not even about who you was before, because I don't judge people on their past. Because if people was judging me on my past, god damn. You know what I mean? But it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I know my give a fuck is broken. I don't care.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I don't care what you think about. I do care what you think about me to a certain extent, right? Yeah. There's some people I don't care what you think about me, and there's others that, yeah, you do value the opinions of others. We're human, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and try to be all macho tough guy, like, I don't care what you think about me, because I do. The fuck. But at the same time, it's like, there's something wrong with you. You. Literally. Every time we sit and record, it's as if I'm like, who is this person? And what broke inside of you? Like, the filter is like completely gone.
When you say who raised me, y'all, don't forget a majority of my
do not
I'm
put
just
me
saying,
into this. I have nothing to do with it.
I'm just saying, a lot of things come from that era where I was rocking and riding with y'all through the streets, and we was all gallivanting together. But
I never gallivanted. I was a sweet angel. I never was in these streets. I don't even know what streets you speak of.
Because there were so many.
Lies.
But I will say, I think my filter broke, and this will be a separate topic. And what I realized in myself, my filter broke when my parents passed. And so it's like something in my brain said, I don't give a fuck. Because the two people I needed to impress ain't here no more. So
I get it.
Y'all gonna get who you get. That's what it's gonna be.
Do you hold yourself accountable in your marriage? Because I think that's very key. Like, it's fine to make mistakes.
Yes.
In order to grow. But because I've been in relationships before where the other party feels as though they're never wrong. And that'll drive, I don't care about other people. That drives me fucking insane. Well, like, you're never fucking wrong.
I'll tell you this. I have started apologizing. Case in point, example. I learned about myself that on Saturdays by about 4 p.m., I have the worst attitude with Renard. And wow. I literally, I'm about to tell you, and this past Saturday
at 4 here. All right, guys, I got to hunker down.
This past Saturday, I stopped myself because I snapped at him and I said, I'm sorry. Because I realized we have this moment every Saturday because Renard has his podcast and they record every Saturday from like 12 to 3. And
damn,
I know
a long ass show.
They talk about anime, so people it's anime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But within that time frame, Ramses has jujitsu, so I have to take Ramses to jujitsu by myself with Roman, and I feel like my children lose their shit. They are a completely different person when it's like in their brain they go, "Oh, you by yourself."
Got him.
It's like Birdman, like, yeah, we about to tear up.
You done fucked up now, mama.
Yo, so they like lose their shit for those 3 hours. So I just in the moment go, I fucking hate everybody right now. Like, oh my God. So this past Saturday, it was just beyond, like Roman just kept crying because whatever he wanted, he wasn't getting. Ramses was just being a 4-year-old, but I just didn't have the patience for it. When we came back from jiu-jitsu, I said, everybody's going to take a nap. Everybody go upstairs. Like, I sent them to the rooms. They finally fell asleep. I sat down on the couch. Renard came back. He comes upstairs from his podcast, and he sits down, and he goes, oh, I got to go to Whole Foods. I said, you about to leave again? And he was just like, I didn't go anywhere. Like, what you talking about?
Downstairs.
Like, he was so confused, but I was so upset. Like, I was angry, and that's when I said, you know what? I'm sorry. Because I'm coming at you right now, and I was like, you didn't even do anything. Like, I was like, you have your podcast, and it's not like I don't know you have your podcast. It's every Saturday. I was like, and I realized every Saturday, I come for your neck by 4 o'clock. Like, if at 4 o'clock, you don't just say, yo, I got the kids, just go disappear into La La Land, I'm ready to bite your head off. So yes, to answer your question, I'm learning to take accountability in my actions because, like you said, I am somewhat of a psychopath. And I do know I am
of a psychopath.
I am extra. And I am learning that some of the things I do and say, like ask for an open marriage, it's not okay. It's just not conducive to a long-term marriage. But do you hold yourself accountable?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I'm not gonna sit here and try to lie. Like, yeah, I hold myself accountable. Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, there's times where I'd be like, listen, there's times where I know I'm dead ass wrong.
Yeah,
and I'll still keep going with that shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah, like I told you, I'm annoying, but I try my best to hold myself accountable or put myself in the person's in Tiffany's shoes, not the person's shoes. Cause I like you, I don't care about other people. The ones that I care about and I love, yes, obviously, right? But like, in my house, I try my best to hold myself accountable. And again, it goes back to knowing if she's bringing it up, it didn't just happen today. You know what I mean? It happened. There was a lead up to it because Tiffany's gonna probably do it before she gets irritated with me. Like, you know what? Let me just take care of this shit before I knock this dude's block off. But then by like the third, fourth time, she's gonna say something, and then and that's when it goes back to like, all right, check your fucking ego. Just listen to what this girl's saying, and hold yourself accountable. Like, hanging fucking pictures. That's all the lady wanted. Just hang the fucking picture. And let me tell you something, Shou. I've seen the picture. Because you go and you utilize the bathroom. You sit on that throne. You see the nail still hanging there. You see the picture just sitting on the windowsill. It's an awkward position for where it's sitting. And in your mind, I'm like, oh, I'm going to fix this when I get out of here. But I don't want to go back in there because no matter how much you spray, it's still not conducive for the human nostrils to go listen, smell what just happened in there, right? So it escapes your mind again, and it's like it seems minuscule, right? But for somebody else, it could become a bigger thing, right? And that's where you got to be like, you know what, I fucked up. I should have just hung that shit up. I apologize. And I'm using that as an example because there's probably even dumber shit that I need to be holding myself accountable for. Like there was one time Tiffany straight up told me, it was like, what was the word that she said? You're moody. I'm like, what the fuck?
Did you snap at her?
I don't think that I'd be snapping. But
so that means you did.
If she is saying it, in the moment, I didn't want to fucking hear that shit, right? I'm not fucking moody. What the hell are you talking about? You're moody. Maybe you're too sensitive, right? Mm-hmm. But in reality, it's like the way the person's receiving it is one way. I could try my best to explain, like, no, that's not what I was intending, but that's how it came across. Just like if she does something to me and I think she's overly being sensitive, in reality, she's probably not being sensitive. It's just the way that I'm receiving it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, let's think about this. Why is she saying that I'm moody? What did I do to lead to this? And maybe I do have a tude that goes from, listen, guys, I 3 therapists, okay? 3 therapists. So clearly there's something fucking wrong, okay? There's something fucking wrong.
I will
if you need a team of therapists, then there's something fucking wrong. All right? So, again, like I said before, you chose this life. You could have said no.
Listen.
So if I'm moody from time to time, I get it. I'll hold myself accountable. I'll try my best not to, but it is what it is.
What's one belief about marriage that you had to unlearn?
What's that saying? Happy wife, happy life, or whatever.
Why are you unlearning that?
It's not that I'm unlearning that. It's we came together and understand that both parties need to be happy. Yes, it's my duties to try my best to make you happy, and your duties to make my best to be happy, because that's what's making the actual happy life. Yeah. You know what I mean? The life is a partnership. So that's the first one that came to mind. Let's see. What do you unlearn? What are you trying to unlearn about marriage?
Well, while you think, I'll tell you mine.
Yes,
which is very generic. But mine, what I unlearned was that love actually is not enough. Like, I legit came into the relationship thinking that if I love you and you love me, everything's going to be great. Like, we shouldn't have any bumps. And I think that caused my emotions when things weren't amazing to dwindle down to, damn, he doesn't love me. Or do I love him? Like, why is he getting on my nerves this much? Like, maybe I don't love him because he's aggravating the shit out of me. So I'm over here, open marriage. Okay, do you not love me enough? I need to go add somebody else to this marriage so that I can have
That's
the amount of
insane.
love.
Every time you say that shit, that's insane to me.
I'll tell you this, when he listens to this podcast, he'll be like, can you fucking stop telling people that you said you wanted an open marriage? I'm like, but I did. I said it to you. But this is what I'm talking about, guys. Like, Renard often has to go, can you stop saying that out loud? Like, do you read the fucking room? Like, stop telling people shit. Like, and I go, but I'm gonna tell everybody the truth. But yeah, no, thinking that love conquers all without any supplements is something that I had to unlearn, and I had to unlearn quick, because you can love somebody and not have to spend your life with them. Like, I don't have to be with you.
Yeah.
To like, what my therapist said to me was, you wake up and you choose to be in your relationship every day. Like, you can love the person, but you are choosing your partner every morning. And I was like, oh my God, am I really? And you are. So that was something that I had to unlearn. I had to normalize that a successful marriage, a successful relationship is love and work. And that doesn't mean that your marriage is failing. That means that you guys are doing everything in your power to make it last.
Yeah. I think even with you saying that, going back to what I said earlier, I think it's in the same vein as what you said. Like, love is a bonus. And I think, like, when we watch the rom-coms, when we live off of TV, it's like love conquers all and it'll be okay and we'll all be happy, honky-dory. You know, it's a business. It's work. Treat it as such. And the love part is a bonus. That partner that you chose and you keep choosing every day, like you said, that's the part, the making sure, oh my God, they love me so much and I have to stay. Like, no, you have to be happy. You happy is going to show up for your partner.
But that's also I think that plays into what we saw, because we growing up, granted, even though it was different environments, it was still the same playing field where we didn't see any of that. So we had to pretty much create our definition of love. We had to figure out what it meant. And then now we're both in a situation where we both have sons, Jesus. We have to now set that stepping stone for them.
Facts.
Ramses, tell you something about that little boy. Tell you about your nephew. This morning, bringing him to school, and he's telling me about his best friends. Oh, mommy, I want to go to school and play with Oma. Why? Because I don't want to play with the boys. The boys are boring. I said, so who are you going to play with? I'm playing with the girls. And my brain immediately went like, oh my God. So
you was in these streets.
Guys, when I tell you, pray for Ramses and Roman and whatever young lady is going to enter their life, because I am going to make her life a living hell.
Why? Why?
Because these girls these days are worse than what I was. Okay.
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that.
No, I am so
we
scared.
Could run the tape back.
God, let's not do that.
On just this episode alone.
Let's not do that. Why do we want to go that far?
And not for mention, you're going to make their life a living hell. You said it earlier. Girls find a version of their father to marry. Boys find a version of their mothers to marry as well.
Okay, let me take that back. I'll only make their lives living hell if I know these heifers ain't worth it. Like, if he,
but you're always gonna think these heifers ain't worth it. You're a mom.
No. I think.
In your mind, you married your sons.
Yeah. Like, Ramses is. I'm not worried for Roman. Roman, that boy, he bringing home something solid. Ramses is his mother's child. So I gotta help him vet. He gotta vet this girl out, because he just gonna bring me anything, and I've got to be like, nah, son.
This definitely got to be a conversation for another episode.
Yes,
also,
no,
because
it does.
It's honestly, I could sit here and say, I don't care what Kaden brings home, so long as that person is treating you right. I'm good, because you've been treated right your whole life, so you don't need to lower your standards, my guy. So both your parents, your bonus mom, everybody's been showing you what it should look like. That doesn't mean you have to mirror what we've done, right? You're gonna be your own man, 10 toes down. You're gonna have to figure it out on your own, right? You're gonna get your heartbreaks. You're gonna do your heartbreaks, but at the same time, I don't see color. If she's an artist, if she's a lawyer, whatever the case may be.
Tag me in.
Oh boy. I said it's a conversation for another episode, but go ahead.
Just a question. A question. If Kaden brings home a stripper who's treating him right, you gonna be okay with that? Yeah, exactly. Don't ever say things like that to me again.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's strippers out here that's just putting themselves through school.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they're doing extra stuff in the back room. Some of them do extra stuff. Some of them don't do extra stuff. If he feels as though he could trust that woman, because let me tell you something, your trust is ironclad. So,
because if not, he's calling aunties and we rolling up to the club. Lock and loaded. What's up? Because that's the type of mama I'm going to be. I am a helicopter mom, but like you said, that's an episode for another. But what I did want to ask...
I'm a hovering parent. And my thing, to answer the stripper thing, I don't want to judge somebody off of their profession, right? Mm-hmm. I think as long as you're a good person, whatever reason led you to that lifestyle, hopefully it's not just about the fast money, right? Hopefully it's, it was a means to an end to get to X. And if you're still striving for X, cool, whatever. Yeah, if you're telling me that's the end all be all, then maybe. I'm not judging you, because I go to strip clubs. I enjoy myself in a strip club, right? But at the same time, if that's the end all be all, then I don't know but I also don't know what Kaden's aspirations in life is going to be, right? I could vision what I want your life to be like, and you're a successful Black man moving through circles, doing whatever it is that you're doing. Lawyer, he already told us he ain't being a doctor. He don't do gory. He don't do blood. So that's gone.
Good for
but
you,
lawyer, engineer, artist, a film director, whatever it is, athlete, whatever it is that you want to be, just know that person's a representation of you. And if that's the end all be all, just know the criticism that's going to come with it.
Yeah.
If that's what you like, if you trust that person with everything that you are, who am I? I don't have to be in that relationship. I'm not in that relationship. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing about Tiffany. You could tell me anything under the sun you want about Tiffany. Congratulations, that's your opinion. You can stay the fuck over there. Because that's me. That's all of me all day, every day. Period.
I think that's the difference between moms and dads. I'm going to be all up in your business.
Oh, I'm going to be in his motherfucking business. You're talking about the same dad that told that boy, oh, you think you're going to college and you're going to come back and visit. Visit who? Because we're going to be out there with you. Come on.
I don't know what I'm going to do about, like, since this whole podcast is about our roots to our realities, we didn't grow up having these conversations with our parents. How the fuck do we build these conversations with our kids? Do you have a plan? Because I don't. I pray to God Ramses don't come to me. Talk to your dad.
So with Kaden, I think because he's so advanced, it's like the subject has been broached already, and you kind of approach it with kitty gloves. It's like, when two people love each other, they do things that adult people do, and they end up, with babies from these acts. And he stared, he looked. I was like, okay, cool. That's how Kaden is. Like, if you explain it to him and it makes sense, you're not gonna no more questions. It might be a random Tuesday. A question will come 3 weeks later, and you answer that question. It makes sense. He keeps it pushing. Now, if you try to fucking kid glove him too much and it doesn't make any sense what you just said, like if you try to tell him that only this happens and da da da, he'll be like, but I don't understand. And then he'll start flooding you with questions. Now the conversation done went a totally different direction, and now you stuck.
Now you're stuck. Yep.
So
listen,
I think there will be a time where the true conversation is gonna have like, I'm not gonna baby you about this shit. Like, yeah, you out here, you're at that age. You need to be protecting yourself because I ain't gonna be a granddaddy. Because if you go out there and go do grown man decisions, you're gonna have grown man consequences that come with it. I ain't babysitting unless I choose to. I ain't paying for nothing unless I choose to. Those are your kids.
You laid down and had. No, I'm not gonna lie. It's probably gonna be best for Renard to have this conversation with our sons.
I mean, it's easier for him to explain certain things for him to them
because
anyways.
You see how I speak, and
I don't. You already traumatized those kids enough as it is. Let Renard handle that one.
I don't like. Let me tell you something. The other day, Ramsey was like, "Mommy, where's your peenie?"
I mean, just tell him girls don't have that.
I was like, I don't have one. And then he asked me, like, he said, "Mommy, I want a baby in my belly." You can't.
Well, boys don't do that.
He told me that's not fair. I did. He said that's not fair. I was just like, go to your father. Like, I literally, when I get to the point where I don't have responses, I go to your dad. Go to your father. I can't do this with you right now. Like,
that's funny.
I'm gonna say some off the wall shit, and then Renard's gonna be like, well, why was that your response? Because I didn't know what to do, sir. I was stuck. But anyway, all right. Let's wrap it up because we've been chit chatting, and I think the conversation of relationships and love and marriage and all this lovely stuff is never.
You wanted to say shit.
I did say. I did.
I felt it.
It is. I mean,
lovely.
It's
stuff.
good shit. It's good shit. I'm learning.
Definitely. It is. Love and marriage is hard work.
But it's worth it.
But when you're doing it with the right person, it's so fucking worth it.
It's worth it. Even when you want to put the pillow over their head while they're sleeping. But you know,
even if you're doing it with the wrong person, you have to realize that wrong person is there for a reason at the same time.
You know that you have three loves. There's a thing, and I know we're trying to wrap up, but there's a thing about you fall in love with three people in your entire lifespan. Your first love is like the love looks right. Like that's the puppy love. Like that's the first person you think you love, right? Because you're like, oh my God, you got the butterflies and stuff like that. The second person, your second true love, is the hard love. That is like when that breakup happens, like that shit hits you the hardest. Like that recovery is like no other. And then your third love is the actual love that lasts. So like that's why when you like
everything's in threes.
I'm just saying that's why when you mentioned Tiffany about, you know, at this point you knew what you wanted, it aligns with that theory. Like by the time you get to the third, you're kind of like, I know what I want, I know what I won't settle for. I know what is needed in my life, and I know what I'm willing to tolerate.
Yeah.
Do you feel like roots help marriage or complicate them? I say both.
Definitely both, but I could see how roots could complicate it. Just will lean more towards complication than help. Because remember, Renard told your ass if your situation was different, y'all wouldn't have had last.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if we had got married, like when I wanted to get married,
that shit wouldn't have lasted either.
We wouldn't be here right now. That's why I have to give him his credit because I'm telling y'all. I mean, granted, you know, I do a lot to hold our marriage together too, but I will say that the meat and potatoes, that's for Nard. How'd you learn to communicate?
I'm still learning how to communicate. So, you know, you learn, again, it's always what happened before. And if you're taking that accountability and you're looking at that mirror and like, this marriage failed, not because of just her. And I don't even look at it as failed. Like it didn't work. And you chose to make a conscious decision to better yourself and your future of your child. to be better as friends, right? So it's not necessarily a failure thing, but at the same time, two people was in this. Hold yourself accountable for what you did in that also, and then try your best to fix it. I seen this video this one time, this lady was saying it, and she was like, she's tired. I'm paraphrasing. She was like, I don't need my partner to be 100% because there's days where I'm going to be 80, he's going to be 20.
Yeah.
I'll be 20, he'll be 80. Yeah. He'll be 60, I'll be 40. And if you balance that thing out right the way it needs to be and understand like, damn, they're down right now. Let me carry it.
Yeah.
Because then when I need to put this weight down, you could carry it for a little bit. And if we're moving in tandem like that, then you'll be good.
I will say what surprised me the most was the amount of work that it takes.
Yeah.
But it is worth it. But the amount of work is surprising. And it's also surprising to see how much easier. Actually, you know what? I take that back. That is surprising. But what surprised me the most is how easy it is to give up. Kind of like what you said. The strength is in knowing when I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between saying, I know I can't do this anymore versus giving up. Like people just be like, I don't want this no more.
And some people's gonna watch out and be like, that doesn't make any sense. She's saying the same thing. No,
but
it
makes sense.
Like it makes a whole heap of sense.
It makes sense. Like
right?
You can give up without trying, and then there's a difference when you know this is just the end of the road. Like this is just it. This is where it is.
Prime example. One would say, I'm gonna block you on social media. Right? Mm-hmm. That is actually not giving up. That's putting in the work. But then you turn around and say, yada, 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 I want an open marriage. That's giving the fuck up.
Shut up.
I'm just using your examples.
How dare you?
We'll leave that right there. I want to thank the people for rocking with us on Roots to Reality. We didn't take it lightly that you chose to sit with us for these conversations, especially the honest, sometimes uncomfortable ones.
I'm going to go hug my husband.
If this episode resonated with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What roots shaped your view on marriage and what realities changed it? Drop a comment, send us a message to keep the conversation going in your own way. Make sure you follow us on social media so you don't miss the new episode clips and behind the scene moments. Shou is very good at giving you the behind the scene moments. I'm excited for the blooper reels that she's going to be putting together. It's going to be mostly of her because I'm perfect. And if this conversation made you think of someone, share it with them. These are the talks that are meant to be passing along. Until next time, it's your boy, Kevin B, the brand, alongside...
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ. Turn around and read your sign. Turn around right now.
Listen,
read what's on your wall.
I'm still stuck on you reading me the way you just did. Oh my God, my cheeks hurt. It is your girl, Shou, the Vibe Enhancer. Thank you for listening. I'm going to go hug my husband now because, I just got to go be a better wife.
Asking for goddamn open marriages because you didn't tell me I look pretty in a dress. Are you insane? You know what? Goodbye, good people. Stay rooted, stay real. It's been real. Love y'all. See y'all next week.